Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the match between FC Barcelona and Rayo Vallecano, and in this game Barcelona has won 2-1. So what we are going to do in today's video is that we are going to be having a different type of video and we are going to be formatting this in a different way. I am going to first talk about my overall review of this game, then I'm going to be talking about the goals that were made within this match, and then lastly I am going to be talking about a few key points that I do believe is very important coming out from this match. So look, Barcelona are advancing to the next round. Barcelona have won 2-1 against Rayo Vallecano. It was an extremely difficult game to get through, and I do believe that the main reason why Barcelona struggled so much within those first 50 to 60 minutes, it was because Barcelona were playing extremely slow. And one of the main reasons why Barcelona were playing very slow, it was because of how Ronald Koeman did start his starting lineup. Looking at the lineup here, you can see that there is many new faces within the starting 11, and we did not expect many starters that usually started under Ronald Koeman. And one of the biggest surprises that we have seen within the lineup, it was about Riqui Puig. Riqui Puig did start against Rayo Vallecano. It was very exciting. Many fans were excited to see Riqui Puig finally start in a Barcelona match, and it's crazy to see that Riqui Puig is now in a position where we did see him struggle to get minutes in the beginning of the season, and now we are seeing him start in a very important match. And one of the main reasons why he is starting, it was because of the performances he did put out in those last 2 to 3 games. But overall, right, the main reason why Barcelona were functioning very slow on the field, it was because it was the first time seeing Riqui Puig start alongside Junior Firpo, Mingueza. We also did see Trincao start on the right wing area, so it was a very fresh starting 11. And I did say here on Twitter, and I quote, Barcelona struggled to find rhythm and take control of the game, but it is a very new starting 11 where many of these players need to understand each other during a real game. So I do believe that Ronald Koeman did make the right call. If you do want to start brand new players alongside each other, one of the best ways and best times to do that would be in the Copa del Rey tournament. But it did come with some consequences, and we did see Rayo Vallecano see a few chances against FC Barcelona on the field. There were many times where we did think that Vallecano were going to come up from Barcelona and go up with a 1-0 lead eventually within the first half. We also did see the Barcelona backline struggle to get the ball out into the midfield, and because of that it did lead towards mistakes in the backline area, which also did lead towards Rayo Vallecano getting those real chances on the field. And there were many controversial calls going out throughout the game. We have seen Lionel Messi get taken down inside the box. We have also seen Francisco Trincao also get taken down inside the box, and then lastly, one of the last few players that was taken down was Frenkie De Jong, and after that player did fall down inside the box, the ref didn't even consider giving the opposition a yellow card. Those calls could have been made into penalties, but that wasn't the case in this game. The ref did believe that none of those fouls that were committed within the box were not actually fouls. And we did see Ronald Koeman get completely fed up with the way the ref was calling out these decisions, to the point where he did receive a yellow card on the bench. So Barcelona did go through a few slumps within the first half, and then going into the second half, we knew that something really needed to change. We needed substitutions, because whatever was going on within this starting 11, even though we knew that it was a great idea to start these youngsters on the field, Barcelona needed to win and Barcelona needed to do better. And Ronald Koeman knew that he needed to find a solution in order to progress into the next round. So now I do want to talk about the goals that were made within this game. And the first team that did score was Rayo Vallecano. And the opposition usually ends up scoring first when we're not defending well or when we're not attacking well. And we had to pay the price eventually. And Rayo Vallecano did score the first goal. And it was because of awful defending. I don't get why Lenglet continues to get ran through by many of these players. Like, if you were to watch the play again, you can clearly see where the player was going to go in order to attack and score the goal, but Lenglet was way too slow to react. And I do believe that this is something that needs to be assessed. There needs to be better defending individually coming from Lenglet. And I do think that that was the moment where Ronald Koeman said, okay, we have had enough. We need to change something within the starting 11 or we're not going to go into the next round. And so Koeman made 3 substitutions, which was on the 68th minute. And I do believe that this is where everything does turn around. So we did see Pedri coming in for Riqui Puig, Dembele coming in for Francisco Trincao, and then we also did see Jordi Alba coming in for Junior Firpo. In other words, Ronald Koeman just said whatever was going on in the first half is not going to work out, and it's not going to bring me a solution by the end of this second half. But let me tell you guys something. As soon as Pedri, Dembele, and Jordi Alba stepped on the field, and we did see Puig, Trincao, and Firpo step out and sit on the bench, the quality between those 3 group of players is so immense, to the point where where it really did make Barcelona perform much better. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm talking about Barcelona played so much better to the point where they have created 2 wonderful chances within the first 2 to 3 minutes on the field. We also immediately started to see the Messi-Pedri duo work on the field. We saw the Messi-Alba duo happen on the field also. We saw Alba make those beautiful crosses inside the box. We saw De Jong and Antoine Griezmann make those perfect runs into the box, and so everything was functioning well again as soon as those 3 subs did come in. Barcelona as a whole, as a collective, looked like they wanted to score and get a win from this match. And obviously, when you do create and play in this way, it does lead up to great positive things, because on the 70th minute, after with only 2 minutes of having these 3 players come into the field, Messi did score the first goal for FC Barcelona, and it was a great goal. We saw Frenkie De Jong find Antoine Griezmann perfectly, only for Antoine Griezmann to run into the box, find Lionel Messi inside the box, only for Messi to tap in that ball inside the net. It was a beautiful goal. It was a Barcelona goal, and this is what we needed. If we started with these group of players and started with this type of tempo in the beginning of this game, the result would have been so much more different by the end of this game. And Barcelona did not stop there. Barcelona continued to attack and create chances. We continued to see the duo between Messi and Pedri, Messi and Alba. De Jong was making those perfect runs. Antoine Griezmann was running everywhere. Barcelona looked like a completely different team. And 10 minutes later, on the 80th minute, we did see Frenkie De Jong score the second goal for FC Barcelona. And again, it came through a great Jordi Alba cross, only for Frenkie De Jong to run into the box with perfect timing, with perfect placement, and place that ball inside the net. And I want to take my time, take a step back, right, and really appreciate the player Frenkie De Jong is. What a monster this player has become under Ronald Koeman. He literally does have everything it takes to be one of the best players in the world. And about 4 months ago, we were talking about how Frenkie De Jong can become the best player in Barcelona. But I do think that what Frenkie De Jong has been doing with this team, he is literally putting himself in the conversation of he could be one of the best players in the world. And that is a huge statement to make. But that is what De Jong has been doing. He has been playing in that way. That is how important he has been for this Barcelona team. And he's doing so great to the point where I do think he is going to be a very important player for Barcelona for years to come. And as Barcelona progressed into the final minutes of this game, Barcelona came out with a win and did end up winning 2-1 and went on to the next round. And now I do want to move on towards some key points that I do want to talk about in this video. One of them is going to be about Francisco Trincao. I do believe that Trincao did not have his best first season with Barcelona, but in this game, he was very involved with the attack within the first 45 to 50 minutes against Rayo Vallecano. I'm very proud with the way Trincao was playing on the field. I know that he did not receive any assists or goals, and I do know that Barcelona's lowest point was when Trincao was on the field, but the way Trincao was taking on Rayo Vallecano on the right wing area was extremely great. I do think that Trincao has finally found his confidence on the pitch, something that we did not see a couple of months ago, so he is making progression, because you can see that Trincao wanted to make something happen for this Barcelona badge. As long as we do see that intent, that you want to improve and that you are not shy to take the ball on your own, you're going to be given those chances, and Trincao did show that on the field. So it was a great performance coming from Francisco Trincao, and hopefully he continues to go in this form and in this run throughout the rest of this season. The other key point that I do want to talk about is something that we have already talked about before, and that is about those 3 subs. I cannot explain to you guys enough just how different the quality is when you do switch out these 3 players. I do believe that because we saw Pedri, Jordi Alba, and Dembele come in, it is really showing you guys just how great these players are, and that these players have improved immensely from the previous season. But what I do believe also needs to be addressed is the players that did come in from the bench, which was Riqui Puig, Francisco Trincao, and Firpo. I do think that there needs to be an improvement, because the difference in quality between the subs and the players that did start is way too big. The gap is way too huge, and I do think that with gaps like these, they cannot exist within a Barcelona club. Every player must put out a great performance in this team, whether it's the bench players or the starting 11. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we did see Junior Firpo go into the bench, and he was was crying when he was subbed out because he knew that he could have done better. He knew that the players who were going to come in were going to do much, much better than whatever he did within those first 40 to 50 minutes. And so hopefully they can get it right. Hopefully they improve, because it is going to be helping Barcelona and Ronald Koeman through this season. And then the last key point that I do want to talk about is going to be about Riqui Puig, the player that we were so excited to see in the starting 11. So here's the thing. I also do think that Riqui Puig had a great game, but I do believe that even though individually he had a great game, Barcelona as a whole needed more. They needed a player who was very disciplined in terms of going forward into the final third area. With Riqui Puig, that wasn't really the case. And now that we are seeing Riqui Puig get more minutes within the season, we are really starting to get a sense on the difference between Riqui Puig and Pedri, two players who have been alternating under Ronald Koeman. Riqui Puig has shown to be a player that can find players, whether it's on the right wing area, left wing area, or through the middle. Riqui Puig is a creator, and he wants to create the tempo for this Barcelona team within the midfield. And then looking at Pedri, who is a much different player compared to Riqui Puig. Pedri is more of a player that does like to find that killer final pass right into the box. Pedri wants to become that lethal passer for FC Barcelona, and he has also been a player that has shown that he does want to be the backbone of whatever play his teammates do want to create, which is why I do believe Lionel Messi and Pedri work so well together, because Pedri wants to be that backbone for Messi and create those 1-2s inside the box. And I do think that because Pedri's advantages on the field benefits Barcelona as a whole much more, Riqui Puig is going to be having very tough competition through this season. And I do think that with competition brings better players, and when you bring better players, the club as a whole performs much better. But it was in the end a great performance coming from Riqui Puig. But that's going to be it for today's Barcelona post-match review. Barcelona has progressed. We are going towards the quarterfinals. There is still improvements that Ronald Koeman's Barcelona do need to make, but we are headed towards the right direction, and things are getting very exciting for Barcelona's future. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.